Hey, hello again. Mike O'Brien, your getaway guy. Today it's all about Boston food finds. Yes, thanks for coming along for the ride today. Today I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, my favorite Italian neighborhood, the North End. Yes, Italian restaurants and Italian pastries. It's crazy here. And you can also get good seafood while you're in the North End. Every time I come here, I go to my favorite place, and it's right across the street. Come on. This is Neptune's. Everybody makes a beeline for Neptune's oyster. Oh my goodness, it's good, but bring a checkbook. No, don't bring a checkbook. Bring your credit card because it's pricey, but it's all fresh seafood and definitely raw oysters. I love it here. This is one of my favorite food finds in Boston's North End. It's crowded. It's small. My best recommendation is to sit at the bar. You get service that's next to nothing. It's just really good. There's the Roy oysters. You pick from a separate menu for the oysters. You can get them from almost anywhere, and they describe them. They're delicious. So you grab your oysters, you get yourself, and look at everybody looking through the window, waiting to get inside because the line can last a long time. Get your nice glass of white Albarino Spanish wine, and then order, in my recommendation, would be the lobster roll. You can get it two ways, with mayo, cold, or the way I did it here was hot with butter. And French fries or salad they offer you, I'm like, what? Say no to French fries? No. Definitely do the fries with your lobster roll.
Why?
It's a great place to go. And it's on Salem Street. So are a lot of my great food finds in Boston's North End. What a great neighborhood. It's just so beautiful, historical. And get this, 24 hours a day, Bova's Bakery. They're open 24/7. Have you ever seen anything like it? And look at the Italian pastries. Mamma mia, it is so good. And there's so much of it. And again, open 24/7, one of my favorite food finds in Boston's North End. Nice people, great Italian pastry, all fresh. And pretty much anytime you want something, just take a little stroll over to Bova's. And it is just one of those places that the North End brags about because it is so good and they're open all the time. And those are just two great places for food finds in Boston's North End. And I'm going to tell you about another place for the very best cannoli. Yes. Hey, you're in the Italian neighborhood. The best cannoli in Boston's North End. I've got that coming up in about 30 seconds, so don't go away. And a few other fun things, too, about where I stayed and where you might want to stay, as per a viewer's question. But first of all, let's talk about Powers Farm Market. Locally, nearby, they don't do cannolis, but they do everything else quite well. Powers Farm Market, they're ready for the holidays. Trees everywhere. Beautiful evergreen trees, and they've even got the fire pit amongst the trees. And it's just a great festive atmosphere. My family goes there on Christmas Eve, and they do the lantern walk through the woods with a nativity scene. It's quite the place. Powers Farm Market, any time of the year, and this time of year, it's very festive. If you don't have the holiday spirit yet, go over to Powers, Marsh Road in Pittsford, and you'll catch that spirit right away. Here we go. More food finds. Let's do back to Boston's North End. And by the way, the North End is filled with history in Boston. The North Church is in the North End. Paul Revere's house, Paul Revere Park, part of the Freedom Trail. So there's a big dose of great history in Boston's North End amongst this great Italian-American neighborhood. But the Italian pastries, wow. And here's one of my favorites. Go to Modern Pastry Shop. Now, there are many to choose from on Hanover Street. Hanover is a very big deal. There's the cannoli, ladies and gentlemen. Go for the Modern Bakery cannoli. I had those boxed up. I took those home for my grandkids. Okay, I took one out of the box. But I had to have some nutrition on the way home. But look at this. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Pastries with ricotta cheese, and it's all Italian. It's all fresh. It's all homemade, and Modern Bakery is right there. And, there's where I stayed in the North End, and it's right nearby. It's just a beautiful city. As we know, Boston's North End, I mean, it just is an absolute wonderful place to visit. Even this time of year, find, a good weekend when the weather's good, the roads are clear. You can get there, as I did out of Rochester, 6 hours with a couple of stops along the way, and you're good to go. It was easy to find, of course, where I wanted to go. And it makes for a great weekend getaway. I ran into people when I was in line at Neptune's from Los Angeles. They knew Neptune's. They too were foodies, and they knew all about Neptune's. But I'll tell you, if you do go to Neptune's in the North End, bit of advice, travel tip, get there early. Really, early dinner, 4:30. That's when the lines start. I got there about 5:30 and I waited in line probably 20 minutes to a half an hour, but you meet some great people from around the world. And then when I was inside, I sat with people from Boca Raton, and they laughed at me because I had a t-shirt. It was warm in Boston a couple of weeks ago when I was there filming this show, and they were all bundled up, but they're from Florida. Anything below 50 for them is frostbite. So, but you meet some great people, have some great conversations, and definitely some great food at Neptune's. And we're going to do some more in our next podcast, our next show. After this one, I'm going to take you to a couple of other favorite food finds in Boston's North End. We do have a question. A podcast question. I'll get to that in just a second. I want to tell you notice the bow that I brought today on the books. Great Christmas gifts. Come on. Stocking stuffers. And I'm doing for the holidays. It's only a limited time. Buy one, get one. So you buy volume 2, get volume 1 for free. Just email me. Tell me what you need. I'll sign it to whoever you're going to give it to as a gift. So it's kind of a cool thing. 50 day trips in each book. My favorites that I had on television. So you've got 100 getaways. They're great gifts for those that love to travel. Email me, MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. And again, we'll do BOGO, and we'll do it for the holidays. So grab a book, grab a travel book, great gifts for this holiday season. And they fit very nicely in that stocking hanging from the mantle. They really do. Hey, Shoots, Apple Mill, thank you for being a part of our show. Shoots is still open, and they're still doing everything that you may see there in the fall. They still have this store, by the way. It's like a general store. Have you ever been in there? And they still, this time of year, they're making the donuts. And I know he's going to show us, and there they are again. So there's always, the bakery is unbelievable at Shoots. It really is. They make fresh pies, definitely the donuts. They're still pressing cider, ice cold, fresh cider. And apples still available. Shoots, thank you for being a part of our show. Plank Road in Webster. The question that we have from a viewer actually inspired me to go to Boston's North End. This came in a couple of weeks ago, and I got to thinking about this question, and it made me want to go there because I definitely know Boston's North End, and I have my food picks when it comes to travel. So this question comes to us from Sarah from Rochester, and she writes, Dear Getaway Guy, Boston is a big city. If I'm coming for the great Italian food in the North End, what hotel do you recommend? Well, let me tell you about the one I stayed at because of its proximity and the hotel's newness. It's about 2 years old. It's a Hilton. It's called Canopy Hilton, and it's literally across the street from the North End, separated by a little greenway park. It is perfect location, and I like newer hotels. Now, this is like a 3-star hotel. It's not stupid money, but when you're spending the night in Boston, everything's expensive no matter what time of year. However, when I went, month of November or even December, you're going to find rates much lower than they are in the spring, summer, and fall. So it's not a bad time to go. So I stayed at the Canopy Hilton. It's a new hotel, reasonably priced. Right next to it is a more upscale hotel. It's been there forever called the Bostonian. So you have your choice, both of those prime locations if you're going to be visiting the North End. And that's my recommendation. If you have a question, do what Sarah did. Email me your question, MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. MikeTheGetawayGuy@gmail.com. Order books. Ask me about them. Ask a question. Could be travel, could be radio, could be anything. But I'd love to hear from you. And thank you very much for being a part of our show. Thank you, Powers Farm Market, for being a part of our show, too. They're all set for the holidays. Powers has everything you need. Trees, wreaths, They have the baked goods as usual, and of course, a nice, wonderful wood-burning fireplace inside. It's just very festive at Powers. They have it all set up, the live animals for the kids. It's very festive. Powers Farm Market, Marsh Road, Pittsford, thank you for being a part of our show. And thank you to Schutt's Apple Mill. Thanks to Joe here at Classy Wolf Media. Find all our getaways, every one of them. Just search for The Getaway Guy on Facebook and you'll see the whole list. Just travel to your heart's content. Look for The Getaway Guy on Facebook or look for The Getaway Guy on YouTube. And until next time, remember, next time around, I take you back to Boston. Wait till you see the pizza place I found in the North End. Wow! We'll see you then, okay? Until next time, Mike O'Brien, your Getaway Guy.